Welcome back to the life story of Lakhi Singh, the entrepreneur, the influencer, the socialite, a man with many colors, a man that a lot of people want to get to know now that he's become somewhat prolific in providing business and property solutions to the United Kingdom. A lot of questions obviously unanswered about your history, about your background, Lakhi Singh, about where you come from. A lot of people have misunderstandings. Some people think you grew up with the monkeys in India. Some people think you were born there and you came to India, from India to United Kingdom, smuggled in. Lots of misconceptions about Lakhi Singh, and we found out last week that no, Lakhi Singh actually was born in England and went to India and spent about 3 to 4 years there, stayed on a farm, stayed in a boarding school, stayed in a normal school, and then found himself back in England with mom and dad. So a lot of things have happened that formulate Lakhi Singh's early life. And I think lots of questions came through last week that we weren't able to go into because it's only a 20-minute episode that we have every week where we get a chance to talk to Lakhi Singh himself. And we thank you again, Lakhi Singh, for giving us your time and your troubles to explain your various historical events and your feelings and the things that have molded you and made you such a successful business person. Thank you very much for your time again this week.
No, that's quite all right. So I'm happy to share my story. Obviously, quite a lot to cover. 53 years of story to cover.
That's right.
Could be a long time.
Okay. Well, we'll attempt in our best way to go over these important hurdles in your life and to see what it was that made you who you are now. So I want to take you back to what we spoke about last week. And you mentioned, having gone to India. You said that, both you and your brother had gone to your grandfather and sort of somewhat complained against your parents that they had kept you in some social services sort of care while they were going out to work. So can you tell me who that was? Who was it who went and who was the lead? Was it you or was it your brother who decided to go to your grandparents? Did you both decide? What were going through your minds at that time when you went to...
To be honest, it's I can't recollect because it's such a long time ago. So all I can repeat is what my parents said, which is that we both weren't really happy staying with childminders, and we were complaining about how awful it is in England, and we love being here. So I think because my parents are very soft-hearted, they're easily convinced. So I think they basically gave in to whatever we were saying, and I don't even remember what we said actually at the time. But I think the other thing is that there's also an element of other family also looking to stay locally as well, who live locally, who wanted to put their kids in 2 or 3 other families that we still keep in touch with now in England, even now that we're back. Literally, I'm actually visiting one of them tomorrow because he's a property developer now, but he used to be in the same school when I was 5 years old.
Okay, so what you're saying is obviously it was a long time ago, and for your parents to let you go and stay in India. So I remember you talking about the feeling of excitement or enjoyment living on a farm. So were you made to do anything in the farm? Were you working on the farm? Were you given shoes to wear in those days, or were you sort of, what was it?
Well,
What was
I
the
think
environment like? Was it
more of
impoverished?
Because I was sort of my brother went to boarding school because I was a bit too young. I was about 3.5. So the majority of my time was spent with my uncle and my cousins, literally playing in, next to it's called a toba, which is like a big pond where all the water from the whole the village comes in, which is a massive pond. And literally just remember playing, just herding the buffaloes and giving them water, to taking the food by bicycle with my cousin to the workers in the fields. So my recollections of India are just very earthy and somewhat amazing, because didn't really have anything to do as such, but more have fun and actually spend time with my cousins.
So do you still have fond memories, and do you have connection with those people of that time, your cousins and your relatives? Are you still in contact with them now still, or is that all in the past?
I'm still in contact with them, but not as often as I would like, because my uncle's now living in Canada, and some of my cousins a lot of them are in Canada now, and some of them are still in India. So there's contact probably at a wedding maybe every couple of years, or by a Zoom call or a FaceTime or something like that on birthdays and anniversaries. So there is some contact, but not as much as one would like, of course, because it's lovely to have your family nearby, but it's not always possible in these
so what about
times.
So you then? I remember you describing the fact that you went to a boarding school, and then you went over to another school in Patiala. So, do you remember anybody at the school, any friends there, any teachers that used to stick out in your mind?
I remember only one teacher who was, her name was Mrs. Gomes. She was, I think, she was Jamaican. And
Jamaican?
That's right. She was used to teach us English. And I remember she always wanted to get tights from England. So when we used to write, she would actually help all the children to write letters to their parents. And then she would actually help me to write, please send my teacher some tights. So I remember some tights actually arriving one day for my teacher, so I think she was over the moon.
Right, okay.
So I still got about 30 or 40 of those letters I used to send in a box somewhere around the house, which see all those that piece of history actually occurring and what was written. And my writing wasn't always that good, so sometimes she would actually write the letter herself.
All right, so she'd write it for you.
That's quite a funny, quirky story, really.
Okay, do you want to expand on that?
So, basically, teacher would actually get us to write letters regularly to our parents to say, I am really enjoying my activities, and I'm enjoying playing hockey or playing football and playing with my friends. And then she would probably say, so why don't you write at the end, my teacher, she likes stockings, and if you've got stockings in the UK, they would be really nice to have. So if you can send my teacher some stockings, that would be great. So although at the time probably didn't really realise what it all meant, I did write it, and I did do recollect actually her receiving some stockings. When my parents came to visit, they gave us some stockings. I think it was one or the other.
Okay.
So that was a quite interesting memory. The other memory is that I think I was quite naughty. Just always run around quite a lot, and I think I fell over once and banged my head against a table. So I've still got the scar here in my ear, like a bit of a cut. I don't have that many memories, to be honest, but that's as much as I remember. Okay.
And I think we spoke about your dad, but we didn't cover too much about them at last episode. What's dad? I mean, what's the background? Is dad still alive? Mom still alive? What's the structure? How much is dad influenced you in in your business
Sorry?
and your personal? How much has dad influenced you or mom in your, your business or your personal life? I mean, what's the dad's structure? What do they do? How many uncles and aunts did you have? How many do you have in the UK? How does it work? And who's your elder brother? And what's his influence on you? Does he work with you, or do you work with him? How does that work?
So my parents are predominantly from a working class background. My dad worked in the post office, my mum worked in a factory. They're retired now, pensioned off, so they're just enjoying retirement. My dad's pretty much been full-time working in charity
Okay.
for about 40 years. So he runs 2 charities. He's still, he was very, very active for the last 40 years, so I think he's almost slowed down in the last 6 months, months or so.
Yeah.
To just sort of spend more time with mum because she's getting a bit more fragile. So I would say that my dad's probably been the biggest influence, because when we were younger, we used to go around with him everywhere, and he loves talking to people. And if you take him anywhere, he'd end up talking to people, and you couldn't really get him to go because he just wanted to continue chatting, or wanted to take us to the temple. So I'm probably not too different from him, because I think I'm quite chatty as well, like my dad. And my mum's, I think she's very loving, very sort of, let's just say, very, very unconditional in her love. So I think I get the best of both worlds from my parents.
Good.
And I think that's probably some of the key attributes I think I sort of carry behind the face of Lakhi Singh in some ways, but not many people recognize that, because when you're in business, people don't always see that side of you.
Correct.
I don't always show that either in business, always, because sometimes people do take advantage of you if you've got good nature. So I think I'm quite protective.
I think that story is going to resonate with a lot of people. I think lots of people out there who are quite human or soft probably find people who are in business being a bit more clinical. And I think it shows that ultimately a person's personality in business is defined by the environments around them. So in a business environment, I think you're probably different. And in a personal capacity, you're probably a different person. Is that what you're saying? Or are you the same across both dimensions?
Well, I think on the whole I'm the same. But when it comes to business dealings, I'm quite protective of who I bring into getting to know me, because I am quite easygoing, and I think a lot of the time if you're easygoing, people do take advantage, because they will try and manipulate you. Okay. So, or that's just their modus operandi, and I think you can easily get caught up in other people sort of saying things which are not necessarily true, just to get you to do what they want you to do.
Okay.
But I think so. I think the yin and the yang. The yin is that I've had very loving and supporting parents. They always supported me in whatever I do, be it good or bad. And they've always been there for me, I think, in every respect. Mm-hmm. So I think I owe them everything in terms of who I am today. And I think my vision is to really give as much as they've given to me to as many people as I can, which is to help and nurture other people in business or support them. Okay. Because I've learnt a lot from them.
That's great. So now we're back in England, and I remember we talked about your return. So you've come back to England, you've gone to a normal junior school in Middlesex, and then you've gone over to a secondary school or a primary school, I think secondary school. So tell me what happened. You came back, what were the feelings? You've come back and you're now about 5 years old, are you? 7? Is that right?
That's about 7.5.
That's right. So you've come back at 7.5. So what happened? What was the feelings?
So I think the funniest thing was that in India is obviously only Indian people. So I think seeing people with sort of white or blonde hair is a bit of a, let's just say, it was quite intriguing. So when we came to England, me and my brother, we'd be looking around and say, look, there's a lady with blonde hair or white hair. Wow, we were sort of like really intrigued because we hadn't really seen anything like that in living in India.
Mm-hmm.
And we were probably young to recollect that when we were here, from the age of 1 to 3,
Mm-hmm.
what was the that experience. So I think that was probably the most intriguing thing, and I can still remember the day that I saw somebody with fair skin and blonde hair. So I still have that memory in my head now of that day,
Mm-hmm.
of that person as well.
Okay, who was that
So
person?
that was sorry?
Who was that person you saw first?
I think that was just somebody random in the street.
Okay.
So just literally when we're driving. Then the other memories are going to Habane Middle School and going in a coach with about 20 other children, which is in Hanwell, and just being taught in a different way with a different environment, with a completely different structure. So I think I still remember all the people from my class, the teachers. So that was all quite intriguing as well, because I hadn't been taught, how do you say, by English teachers, or you can say fair-skinned people. So it was all quite exciting in some ways.
Okay, so you're saying it was a big transition, and did you find it easy to come back and then have to wear shoes and normal clothes? Because I'm assuming in India it was very lucid, shoes and Western clothes probably were not the norm, or were you wearing them and then in India you bought the same clothes across? How did you adjust?
I think my parents bought us lots of new clothes here from England, so that was quite nice because you had a lot more choice. And in India, I think the choices are limited in terms of the type. So you could get nice trainers here. You could get more comfortable t-shirts. And
Okay.
so I think it's a lot nicer here because it's a lot more commercial here in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've come back to the United Kingdom. You've come from that school in Hanwell. You've seen Caucasian or Western attitude in teaching in school, and then you go across to is it Gurnell School? Is it De Villiers? Which one is it?
That's right. I went to Gurnell Middle School,
Mm-hmm.
and
how was that like? Was that also a very sort of like a traditional West End school with very small numbers of minority communities, or did it have more Indians and Asians there and other mixes?
to be honest, it was probably like the perfect mix. Is more like somewhat. You had like probably a majority were English, white, Caucasian, and then you had in my class you had sort of Nigerian, you had Irish, you had.
So you had a very good mix. You had a big mix of. You had a mix of different communities. Had a different mix of communities. So who did you find more affinity with? Who were you more able to? What type of friends did you make?
So my first friend was a guy called Stephen Mendoza. He was a half I think it was Cypriot, but had to leave the school after the first year. I still remember everything from school. I remember all the names actually. It's quite funny. And then I had a couple of other new friends. A guy called Amarjeet. I can't remember his surname now. So Amarjeet and I were really close friends. So it's mostly Punjabi friends that I'm making. but I was quite friendly across the board. So I had another friend called Leonard Moon and Gregory Baker. Gregory Baker was a son of a policeman, and Leonard Moon, I can't remember quite what. So we had quite a nice mix of friends actually. So we used to play cards against the wall, used to do the football cards, used to do all that sort of thing.
Okay.
Years ago.
So we're going to leave it now, and we're going to keep a pause on that, and that Lakhi Singh comes back to England and now is integrated into a normal high school. And we're going to come back to Lakhi Singh next week, and we're going to start with Lakhi Singh as he leaves high school to go to a secondary school. Is that right, Lakhi?
That's right.
And what was the name of the secondary school?
You're talking about the secondary school. It was the Villiers High School.
De Villiers High School, that's right. So we're going to start off from your life at De Villiers next episode. And for now, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you so much, Lakhi, for sharing your life story and your feelings. It's quite interesting to know how life was then and how much it may have changed now. And hopefully when we come back next week, we'll start off with life at De Villiers. And for now, we're going to call it a day. Thank you so much. The life story of Lakhi Singh in video.